I still remember the day everything changed. It started out like any other morning at the office, emails piling up, coffee brewing, the hum of small talk filling the air. I had been working there for 2 years, a small marketing firm in the city, nothing too fancy but steady work. Our boss, Ms. Carter, was a woman of power. She ran the company with an iron fist, always dressed in sharp suits, her heels clicking loudly on the polished floors. People respected her, but they also feared her. She wasn't known for kindness. If anything, she was seen as ruthless, a woman who never tolerated failure and rarely showed emotion. She rarely called employees to her office unless it was something serious. That's why, when my colleague Jake got an email requesting a private meeting with her, he looked nervous. We all exchanged glances, whispering theories about what it could be. Layoffs? A promotion? Something worse? Jake disappeared into her office, and for almost an hour, there was silence. When he finally emerged, his face was pale, and he walked straight past us without a word. No one could get a single thing out of him. He just sat at his desk, staring at his computer screen like he wasn't really seeing anything. It was unnerving, to say the least. Then, it happened again. The next day, it was Mia's turn. The same email, the same private meeting, the same eerie silence afterward. Something wasn't right. She returned to her desk, avoiding eye contact, gripping the edge of her chair like she needed to hold on to something solid. By the end of the week, 5 employees had been called in, and every single one of them came out looking shaken. It wasn't long before rumors started flying. Some said she was threatening to fire them. Others thought she was forcing them into something unethical. A few even believed it was something more personal. The tension in the office grew thick, and everyone was on edge, waiting for their turn. Even the people who usually kept to themselves started whispering. We speculated, we feared, we wondered if we were next. Then it was me. The email popped up in my inbox around noon. Please come to my office at 3 p.m. This meeting is private. My stomach dropped. I had always kept my head down, done my work, and stayed out of trouble. What could she possibly want from me? I spent the next few hours in a daze, barely able to focus on my work. My hands were clammy, my heart was pounding. I considered pretending to be sick and leaving early, but I knew that wouldn't work. Ms. Carter wasn't the kind of boss you ignored. If she called you in, you showed up. At exactly 3 p.m., I knocked on her office door. Come in, her voice called out, calm and firm. I stepped inside and closed the door behind me. The room smelled of expensive perfume and leather. She sat behind her massive desk, her piercing eyes studying me. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The silence was deafening, stretching longer than it should have. My palms were sweating, and I had to force myself to breathe evenly. Then she sighed and leaned forward. You've been with this company for 2 years now, she said, her voice softer than usual. And I know you've heard the rumors. I swallowed hard. I wasn't sure how to respond. She continued. I've been calling people in here privately because I needed to talk to them about something personal. Something I didn't want spreading around the office. I braced myself. Then she said the last thing I ever expected. I'm leaving this company. I blinked. What? She nodded. I've been battling some personal health issues for a while now. It's reached a point where I can't ignore it anymore. I need to step away and focus on myself. But before I do, I want to make sure the people who have worked hard for me are taken care of. My chest tightened. This wasn't the cold, intimidating Ms. Carter I thought I knew. This was a human being, vulnerable and struggling, just like the rest of us. I've been offering people promotions, better positions, and higher salaries before I go, she continued. Some of them were too shocked to respond. Some were overwhelmed. But I didn't want to do this in a group setting because I wanted it to be personal. Tears welled up in my eyes. The rumors, the fear, the uncertainty, none of it had been true. She had been trying to do something good for us all along. She handed me a letter, and when I opened it, my heart nearly stopped. A raise. A promotion. A personal note thanking me for my work. I left her office that day with a new perspective. It's easy to judge people from the outside, to create stories in our heads based on fear and gossip. But the truth is, we never really know what someone is going through. After the meeting, I found Jake and Mia and told them what happened. They nodded, still processing it all. I didn't know what to say, Jake admitted. I was expecting the worst. A month later, Ms. Carter was gone. A new boss took over, and things changed, but her impact stayed with us. We all learned something that day, that power doesn't always mean cruelty, and that sometimes, the people we fear the most are the ones carrying the heaviest burdens. Even now, years later, I still think about her. About the way she took care of us, even when she didn't have to. And I wonder how often we misjudge people, how many times we assume the worst when, in reality, they're just trying to do their best.
Hey everyone, if this story moved you, if it made you think, or if it reminded you why we need to keep having these conversations, please take a moment to like this video. It really helps spread awareness. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. Have you ever witnessed or experienced something like this? Let's talk about it. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're here to share real, powerful stories that need to be heard. Lastly, share this with your friends and family. The more people who see this, the more we can bring awareness and change. Thank you for watching and being part of this journey. Let's keep pushing forward, together.